All right, y'all, listen. Nikki and Sean are both the problem. It's not one over the other, in my personal. They're both the problem. And Courtney, for me, you and Nick are also a problem as well. Together. Just a little piece. And we'll talk about it. So, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it.
How we get up, just call back, right back. We can spend, then get it right back, man. She just gotta want all of that, so that's why I bought.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the channel, honey. I am here ready for us to get into Married at First Sight episode 4. All right. I do know that 5 and 6 has dropped, and we will get into each of those episodes in a separate video. But right now, we're focusing on episode 4. So make sure you're liking up the video for me. You're subscribing to the channel. And you know what I'm saying? Staying up to date with your girl. All right. And let's get into it. Episode 4. So Cameron and Michelle, we learn once they wake up, they did not have sex. So good for them. She says that she's very traditional and she wants to take things slow. I see nothing wrong with that. Great job. Congratulations. Adam and Marissa, she tells him that he's a good cuddler. And he tells her, yeah, I've been training for this moment for a long time. And I'm like, are we talking about sex or we talking about cuddling? I think we talking about sex. I do. I think that's what we're talking about. And as the episode progresses, I cannot think of the exact moment that I felt this way. I think it was right before everybody came together to meet each other's couples and chit chat and talk. I think it was before that. And I remember feeling like, dang, Marissa is stigmatized by this guy. Okay, girl. So he asked, what's an ideal day for her? And she says a huge nap, like 3 hours. Yeah. You thought my friend was playing when she told you that at the wedding? No, she was spot on. Like, I like to get my beauty rest, and I would like for it to be at least 3 hours in the middle of the day. If it could be longer, I would sleep longer, but I'll take 3 hours. And I'm over here looking like, girl, are you depressed? Like, you need to sleep that long? So he says that's pretty long. And I'm like, for me, I'm like, Marissa, baby, what you be doing throughout your day that you need that many hours of sleep? Like maybe like a cute hour and a half, but you want 3 hours to just nap? So do you not get the 8 hours? And a lot of us don't, but do you at least get 6 hours at night to sleep? Like, what's going on that you need that long throughout the day? What's happening? In addition to that, my question is for Adam, because Adam does, for me, give off this type of person that allows you to do things. I don't know when it's going to show up. I don't know if it's going to show up, but Adam gives me that type of person. So it's like, how long will Adam allow you to sleep? I couldn't be in that type of relationship where somebody has to allow me to do something, but he gives off those type of vibes to me. But either way, that's what they got going on. And I'm like, Adam is not gonna like that girl. Don't you pull that with him. Cause the man that's up there talking about discipline this, discipline that, discipline this, he's not gonna have it. He gonna ask you to be disciplined enough to not have 3 hours of sleep in the middle of the day. But good luck. Okay. Good luck. Sean and Nikki, they both wake up, they're all smiley faces. He brings her some coffee. I think she greets them like very welcomely, and I was like, I like this. So I don't know, y'all must have slept on the right side of the bed last night. Okay. This may sound crazy, but it don't sound crazy at all. Nikki definitely loves her some control. And it's also funny because Sean says he wants a woman that does take control and that is a boss, but you really can't handle a person like that. And I'm just going to say this very small thing. And I know a lot of you guys may be able to relate to Nikki and Sean because that's just how y'all is, and it's fine. But I'm like, the fact that the door is right there and Nikki, you're sleeping on that side where the door is, I just feel like it should have been the other way around. I feel like Sean should be the one sleeping closest to the door. You should be on that side. It just gives some type of protection. And I feel like she automatically chose the side that she wanted to be on. But I feel like he should have been like, no, I got that side. You sleep over there. Like, I don't know. It's something about just the sleeping dynamics was just interesting to me. But let's keep going because that's not that big of a deal. Let's keep going, right? So he says that he's going to have to take a step back and let her shine. And she says, yeah, you are. And I wanted to tell him that last night, but I'm just like, let me just let me not ruin the night more than what it is. Like, let me just hold what I got. Either way, I was loving seeing these two smile, chit chat. The vibe that morning was so much better than it was the previous night. All right. She goes in the confessional. She says, listen, he was doing a bit much last night. I'm not going to lie. He was. She says, I'm not physically attracted to him. She said this already. She says, but he can grow on her, right? And likely those little moments of him considering her, bringing her coffee in bed, which is something she probably always wanted her partner to do or something, you know? Just the little gestures of things that he does, I think will overshadow the physical attraction that she lacks for him at this moment. Um, so yeah. And I kind of, I'm not gonna hold y'all. How I feel in this moment, I kind of hope it works for Sean and Nikki. They have to definitely work on their communication, but some part of me want to see if it's gonna work between. I feel like they can, but it's gonna take a lot of work. But let's keep going. So she says that that he reached for her hand in the middle of the night and he held it, and she thought that was really really sweet. And I was like, "What word?" First of all, I'm surprised he even reached for it. Okay, the way that you told him to keep his shirt on and can you scoot back up off me while I take my makeup off? Like, but get you. Can I breathe? Okay, the way he was doing too much, I was surprised he reached for it, and I'm surprised that she didn't snatch it back. But she says that she thought it was really sweet. So I'm like, okay, I'm liking this. Let's see how far it goes. Let's get to Nick and Courtney. Courtney talks about not being a super affectionate person. She's not super affectionate, but she definitely wants Nick to be super affectionate with her. That's at least that's what I'm getting, right? Nick, she said, I think she said she woke up and Nick had his clothes everywhere, over here, over there, da, da, da. And I think she may have packaged everything up and laid it properly where it needs to be. That's the first issue. I'm not finna hold you. That's the first, like, and here's the thing, like Nick, and this sound bad, I don't care. You definitely letting your representative show up super fast. Like, I would at least try and fake the funk how some people try to do, but we appreciate you showing your real stuff at the same time. But sometimes you a meter person and they be trying to act like they all tidy and neat and this and that, and let me do this and let me fold that up and let me da 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 da. And then as you get more comfortable, they start showing you who they really are. He said, no, we're not gonna wait. I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, shirt over here, pants over there, shoes down here, and then the socks over here. I'm like, okay, okay. I was like, okay. She should have been tapping him on his shoulder, like, hey, you gonna get this? You gonna pick that up? Because I feel like that's kind of setting a tone. Like, yeah, you pick those items up for him, but he need to make sure the next time that's what we doing. Is that what we doing? Do you want to walk over my stuff all day? Is that what we doing? So either way, she gets up. They both get up. They go to the coffee machine. I think it could have been a Keurig machine. I understand everybody don't know how to work every coffee machine. Cause I see some coffee machines on TikTok and I be like, no, what is, oh wow. Like, okay, it do look a little complicated, but it ain't that damn complicated. They go over to the coffee machine and the man don't even know how to use it. Nikki decides to step in and show. Like, I feel like because I think Nikki may have been competitive, like in different sports and stuff. Some part of me feels like she may show up like, see, I got it. I know how to do it. I'll show you how, like, boom, I got, like, no, it would have been, let me show. I can't remember what her words were. So I don't want to put words in or out her mouth. But if this did not happen, it should have happened. She should have said, well, let me show you, okay? So that tomorrow morning, you know exactly how to make my coffee and how I like it. So let me put it together for you. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay? He just did certain things where I felt like, and if I'm saying Nikki, I meant Courtney. Courtney has to constantly step up and do stuff. And I'm like, girl, you're not going to like this for the whole relationship. Like, that's going to get on your fucking nerves, okay? He don't know how to work the coffee machine. You got your clothes everywhere. And I'm like, what other little boy ways do you have, Nick? This woman is going to get tired of you. I'm tired of you just off of the limited screen time right now. All these shows that you went on to do, you didn't learn anything. Maybe because they all different. Whatever. Let's get to Felipe and Tori. They didn't have any sex, so good for them. Tori says that she's really impressed with the matchmakers because it's obvious they're both very attracted to each other. Felipe agrees, and he says that he has a slight fear of commitment. Okay. He thinks because of that and him being forced into this commitment in so many words, he thinks he's going to do well. And he's so happy that he did Married at First Sight. I want to believe in you, Felipe. I want to believe that how they made you show up or how they edited you or how you showed up in the beginning. Sometimes you'll see a person on the show and you be like, okay, they're going to be too much. And then as the show progresses, you realize they're not really the problem. I want to believe that, but I don't. I don't believe that at all. He may do right by her as the show is going on, but I'm thinking about the years to come, and that's gonna be the problem. But let's keep going. So Belle and Mecca, they're chatting, and he feels like he's kicking it with his best friend. And she's like, yeah, me too. He's like, you know what I'm saying? We over here talking about like what's the tea? He was just using a lot of lady language, but I will say and gay language. But I'm not gonna put that label on him or anything because he could have been trying to be funny with her, like mimicking the different things that women say, like "What's the tea? What's the So that could have been what he was doing. But either way, he did say in the back of his mind, he's like, "Wow, though, like I'm married, like." I'm with my best friend, but like, whoa, we married to each other. And I think she has that moment too. So she does agree with having a friendship first and letting things progress from there. And she also likes his sense of style. So they're over there chatting. They're looking forward to meeting the other couples. They don't know what it's going to be like, how people are going to feel and stuff. And they want to do matching outfits. Well, at least she wants to do matching outfits. And it seems like he's going to go along. All right. Now we get to Caitlyn and Devin. They haven't had sex. And at first I thought they did, but as it progressed, I realized that they didn't. And I'm like, oh, okay, so they have not crossed that line yet. She says that she would have never, I guess, done that with him, like on the first night, whatever, but she did feel comfortable enough with him though. The connection is very odd. I guess she wasn't expecting to be so connected to him. Like they really fit. They really fit. Like for me, I want Mecca and Belle to actually be something. I can see Caitlyn and Devin actually being something. But as the episode progressed, I don't know. So he says he's a very intimate person. He's a very physical person. And she says she's usually a slow burner. And she just lets things progress from there. Right. So that's what they got going on. She's a slow burner. He's not much of a slow burner, but he's going to go with her pace of things. So we'll see. It's time to get to the honeymoon. All right. Baby, the way they had Cardi B playing, I said, not y'all done got a sync license from Cardi B. I said, oh, y'all done got some money. Y'all done went and found y'all some money. Okay, I like that. So then Nikki, she seems to be getting a bit comfortable with Sean. We see that. Nick getting on my nerves with how he acts. Like he can't do SHI. I think they were standing out there on the beach and she's waiting for him to kind of like lead and tell them what they're going to do next or whatever. He's like, I don't know. Should we jump in the sky and see who could jump the highest? Like it's very weird. And it's like, Nick, do you not like Courtney and you're intentionally doing things to turn her off? Or what's going on? I think there was another time that Nick didn't know how to do something and Courtney had to do it. And I said, baby, Courtney, get ready, girl. You're going to be doing this for the rest of your marriage. I don't see them making it to the end. I really don't. Um, Even the couples that are struggling with the chemistry seem to be further ahead than them. And I'm comparing them to Nick and Sean, honey. Like, what's going on? Felipe and Tori are talking and he asked her about her faith. And she said she's Christian. Now, he grew up Catholic. We thinking that's what he finna say. He says he's atheist. Wow. Okay. So she asked him about children being baptized. Like, how do you feel about that? And he says to him, it's just kids going in some water. Oh, wow. Okay. So then Tori says religion can be a safe space to feel comfort, to feel comfort from. And so he says, if it means a lot to you, then it means a lot to me. I wish she would have said, okay, so when you say that, how far are you like willing to take it? So if I'm trying to go to church or something, are you saying that you're going to go? Because I don't remember her asking that. Of course, she asked about the baptizing. So he may not be crazy about it, but if that's what she wants, he'll honor it. So you're going to come up in the church too? Like, what's what? Either way. So she speaks on being cheated on and how her faith helped her, get through that moment. And she says it's a principle of hers to feel respected as well. And she trusts that he will act accordingly. Okay. I don't think you ain't got no choice but to trust it for right now. So he also tells her that he has cheated before with somebody he was in a long-term relationship with. I think it was like 2 years or something, under 2 years, whatever it was. Right. And he says she never found out about it until after they broke up. When they broke up was when she found out about it. He says that he forgot about it. All right. And she asked him if it's difficult to be monogamous and loyal at this point in his life. And he kind of pauses. Right. And he's like, I mean, I don't want to say no, but I don't really know because I've never been in a committed relationship like this before. Okay, I'm like, I guess that's kind of fair. Like, you don't know, I guess. And so he says that he knows in his heart, though, that he's not going to cheat because he's so all in at this moment. And I'm kind of like, but you don't know that necessarily. I mean, your intent, that may be your intention, though, that you're not going to do that. But because you just said you didn't know, that was my thing. You don't know because you haven't been in a committed relationship before or whatever it was, or one like this. So how do you know that you're not? You just said you didn't know, but because in his heart he don't believe that he is, he's not. Okay, good luck. So Cameron and Michelle are talking, and she opens up about her fibroids and how it could be a lot harder to conceive. And he says, of course, he wants a family, but he understands that, how things are set up, it won't be that easy. All right. So they have a talk about that. Good luck. Belle and Mecca. The vibe seems to be good with them, but they haven't had intimate moments. I believe that's what Belle says. So she says she doesn't want to be the one to initiate it. She wants him to, like, hey, you come up on me. So he tells her he likes how things are going, but it could crash and burn, right? So they're sitting outside, they talking about it. And she says, why put that out there in the air? Why put that in the air? Only for her to turn around and say, I mean, you could leave me. And if you leave me, I would cry. And I'm like, well, then why would you put that out there in the atmosphere? If you didn't want him to put that things could crash and burn out there in the atmosphere, then why would you put that he could just leave you out there in the atmosphere? Like, okay. Anywho, he asked her whether she would come find him. And she's like, no, I'm not chasing after no man. Da, 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 da. Cool. So they discuss the other couples and wondering how everyone will be and all of that. Nikki and Sean, she tells him what she does to maintain her body. And he says that he's not in his college days, but he's very happy with his dad bod. And he isn't afraid to take his shirt off. Good for you. Good for you being a confident person. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the dad bod fits you. You're not a bad looking guy in my personal. Good for you. However, if she wants you to come to the gym, would you be open to it? Would you at least be open to walking on the treadmill or doing a few things if that's what she wants? Okay. If he doesn't, I don't feel like it's uncommon. I see a lot of people, and I don't know why. I've been seeing a lot of people on social media where one of the partners are in the gym heavy, the other one's not, and they're a bigger person. And the people don't be caring. They come home, they kiss their partners, and they be all happy, whatever, whatever. Okay, so it is what it is. But I do wonder if she wants you to step out, come to the gym with her, are you gonna come? I think you should. Either way, so they talk about seeing each other for the first time. And when she spoke, she called out how she said, I came out and I saw this gorgeous family. She put emphasis on gorgeous, but followed it up with family. And I felt like that was slick playing in his face. He thought she was going to say gorgeous man. I kind of thought she was going to say it too. Then I'm like, nah, she can't be saying it because she didn't really like you like that. Right? She's not really attracted to you. So she's not going to say you the gorgeous man, but to put emphasis on gorgeous. And I feel like if he would have said that about her, she would have strongly felt the way about it. Okay. But either way, she says that he was like, oh, I thought you were gonna say a gorgeous man. She's like, no, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And my issue with Nikki is some of the shit that she does, she know goddamn well she would not like it if he returned the favor to her. I walked out and I saw this gorgeous, and she would have thought he was talking about her, and then he say family. She would have got offended. I thought you were gonna say gorgeous woman. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. She would have felt the way. So he tells her when he married her, he said that he had to let the old Sean die. Right. And she's like, what does that mean? He said, meaning that I can't keep putting myself first, and then everybody else second. That's not how it's going to work. So he had to retrain his mind or something like that. And she was like, okay, that's cool. So she says that she can relate, and she ended every relationship she was in and says, she feels like she's grown. So he said, oh, can you give me some examples of how you've grown? And so she says she likes her home really neat. And if her partner is not a neat person, she would start to secretly judge them and likely start placing them in a certain box on where they're gonna be, how they're gonna like, I'm not finna da, 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 instead of just speaking up, and just letting them know, like, hey, I'm this type of person. If you're going to be in my space, I really would like it if you operated like this, right? Basically communicating. Okay. So he reiterates the question. He was like, well, what I asked was if you could give me an example, da 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 da. She says, well, I'm not ready to go into detail about my past relationships. Now, I do feel like I understand him feeling like that wasn't a good enough example because it was a generalization, like he said. He not lying. However, I feel like he could have, if he felt like he wasn't getting the answer he wanted when she said that, he could have said, "Oh, so was that like one of your more recent relationships or whatever?" It was he could have followed it up with a different question versus that's not what I asked you. What I asked you was, you know what I'm saying? He should have had a better question prepared, seeing that she's not going in the direction that he wants her to go, right? With like being very specific because she wasn't being specific, right? Then she says, I'm not ready to go into detail about my past relationships. And I'm kind of like, but why though? At some point, it's going to become a conversation where you're going to want to know about his past relationships. And she says, I know I'm generalizing it or something like that. Okay, well, then if you know you're generalizing it, then I don't think it was an issue of him asking her again. I think it was more so how he asked. So that's really why she was upset. So she says she hasn't asked him that because it's not important. And I'm like, it very well is important in my personal. She's like, I didn't ask you that because it's not important. And he's like, so what I'm asking you isn't important. She said to you, okay, well then if you see that it's important to him, just because it's not important to you, that's you. But if you see that it's important to him, then expound on what you're saying. It's really just that simple. Now she could have said, well, damn, you have to ask it like that. Maybe he could have re-asked the question in a different way. I think he could have, right? But to try and downplay the importance of it, to me, I didn't like. Because also it's to me no different than you saying, like, okay, I'm a person where I'm very neat, right? And if my partner isn't like that, then I'm gonna start judging them, da, 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 whatever the case is. I feel like they about the same thing because being neat is important to you. It's not important to them, but you're still gonna ask of them to make that shit important when you're around me and pick your shit up or be a little more neat than what you are. So if he's telling you, he's asking you a question, you're generalizing it. He should have said something more specific, but you try and say, oh, well, I didn't ask you about your past because it's not important. And then he says, so it's not important. And you say, well, it's important to you, but then implying that it's not important to you. I don't think that's cool because I feel like that's the same thing. The question is important to him. So then just answer the damn question. Be a bit more specific in what he's saying or in what he's asking. Right. So for me, I just feel like they both the damn problem. They don't know how to communicate. Like neither one of them. So he says that he could change the line of questioning. You absolutely should have changed it. Because to come back and say, what I asked you was, and it's like, what I asked, what, hold on, hold on, hold on. So then she says, it's like coming off unnatural. Okay. We went from vibing to us being in class or whatever she said. So she didn't like that. So they'll get that figured out. Felipe and Tori, she talks about her expectations of him being loyal and committed because she's been cheated on before and he doesn't want to go through, she doesn't want to go through that same thing again. So she found out that he was cheating, like her ex. She goes into detail about the ex. He was cheating on her. She found out. I think she could have went through his phone or something like that. Or either the girl reached out to her. I think she got a DM. Hey, girl, hey, your man cheating on you, whatever. So she found out about it. She took the girl out for drinks. Baby, that's how you do it, girl. Don't get upset with that girl. Take her out to eat. Take her to get some drinks. Get her liquored up a little bit and let her spill all the information. She was finna spill it anyway. So get the alcohol in her so you could really get all of it out. But she said the young girl was about the same age as her sister. And knowing that young girl was about the same age as her sister, she couldn't fathom somebody doing her little sister like that. So she's like, I got to get the hell on. But also outside of your sister being done like that, you should have thought about never letting nobody happen. Like you should have thought about yourself too. Like I would never let nobody treat me like that. Okay? That should have been your number one reason, high key. But I do understand it from the standpoint of you took advantage of this younger girl. You definitely got to go. Okay. So he tells her that he wants her to trust 100% and he's never going to give her a reason to doubt. Good luck. I think that could have been the conversation when she said, once a cheater, always a cheater. And he was like, please don't think that. I don't want you to think that because I wouldn't do nothing like that or something like that. I'm like, boy, okay. Belle Jolie and Mecca. So she tells him the friendship side is intact and asks if it's outweighing other aspects of the relationship. He tells her it's only natural with how comfortable they are that the friendship comes out so strong the way that it is. So she asks, at what point do we switch? Do we make the switch though? And she's like, listen, I want you to know I welcome it. Okay. I'm not going to sit up here. I'm not going to push it away or anything because I don't know, whether you're sitting here thinking about the do's and don'ts or what you can do, what you can't do. I don't want that to be in your head based on what I've already told you about, oh, I'm not trying to go this far tonight or I'm not trying to do that. I don't want you to think that's going to be the entire experience. So if you feel something and you're in that moment where you want to lean in and give me a kiss or you want to give me a hug or a little smack on the booty, do what you're going to do. Don't let me stop you. Okay? You really supposed to do what you do and then get permission later. Now you know the line is not the cross that will get you in trouble, but if you want to do a little smack on the booty, a little rub on the back, little cheeky, lippy, do what you gonna do. All right? Be comfortable with being affectionate. All right. And then at some point after that conversation, they did kiss. And that seemed like it was just like a flow of mwah. Okay, that was cute. Courtney and Nick. So they have absolutely no chemistry in my personal. They have absolutely no conversation. They sit. Every time they put the camera on them, it's awkward as fuck. It's too much dead air. It's too much dead silence for me. And she's waiting on him, I guess, to interact with her. And it seems like he's waiting on her to be all over him. And I'm just like, what is going on? Courtney says it's getting a little boring for her. And somebody needs to get pushed in the pool, but she don't know how he gonna act if she push him in the pool, child. She wants a little fun. They finally have a conversation on getting to know each other, but it still left Courtney feeling like, okay, it's something off. Like we're not connecting at all. All right. And I said, Nick, baby, are you not realizing that this ain't them same other dating shows? Like, what's going on? And y'all having two different conversations with production. She over here talking about she bored. Meanwhile, he over here talking about, oh, everything is going great. Everything is going great. She's amazing. Courtney, this is my issue with you though. As whack as he is, because my issues are the same. My issues with Nick are your same issues with Nick. However, my issue with you is that you are not communicating with him. I'm not seeing you tell him, hey, I don't like that you don't take initiative on X, Y, and Z. I don't like that you don't know how to do this or that. Okay? I don't like that you won't do this on a boat or with the goat. Like these are problems, okay? I don't even think you eat green eggs and ham. Okay? And that is what's disappointing me, Sam. I am. Like you need to just communicate these things with him and you're not. And it seems to me that you're communicating with everybody else like he's supposed to just know. I don't really like it. I don't really like it. Have a conversation with that man and tell him what it is. Now, after you tell him what it is and how you want him to show up or whatever, and he still don't, okay, get me off the boat. Yeah, yes, I like to end it now. Wasting my time, killing me softly. Let's go. What? Good. Devin and Caitlin. He talks about not having a relationship longer than a year and a half. He's had 3 long distance relationships. He struggles not having his person. More so, somebody that's going to praise his ass when he gets off the court or off the field or whatever he's doing. Caitlin says that she hates being alone, but she's learning the value of her alone time. Okay. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I mean, you definitely should value your alone time. There are things that's happening every day in life that you need to damn decompress from. It's gonna come a time where he gonna need some alone time too, right? But she also hates being alone. So I guess in the same fashion as him, when I'm ready for that person to go to that person and be up under that person, I want them to be there. So I get that. He talks about catering a lot to his partner, and then she says she says what I have in my notes is she's bored, tells him if he needs to cater to yourself, then okay, boom. So I think that's what she goes and say in the confessional that she was bored or something like that and tells him that if he needs to cater to yourself. No. That's not what happened. As they're talking and he talks about catering to, his partner and stuff, she does tell him at some point, if you need to cater to yourself, then definitely do that. Go and cater to yourself as well. Basically, also saying, listen, don't do all of that with me. You ain't got to cater to me all the damn time. And listen, let me tell you about my partners in case you don't know. She talks about having one partner that was like, I think he could have been mentally abusive or whatever the case was. Things weren't working out so well with that partner. But then she had another partner that just gave her a lot of space. And she really liked that. She appreciated that. So I think this was our way of letting him know how she wants him to show up with her. Right. She talks about how she's not in touch with her emotions, but she's glad that he is in touch with his. So hopefully you can, good look, they'll figure their stuff out or not. Sean and Nikki talk. They did a video diary. Things went left at that video diary. Nikki wants to wait 5 weeks to see what friendship can look like before introducing sex. And I said, well, damn, how long is the show filming? So if the show is filming for 5 weeks, I don't think she wants to engage sexually with you throughout this entire process. I don't really fault her for that. Like, if she don't want to do that, then hey, I think it will only make y'all connection potentially stronger as y'all build the friendship. And then even though she may want to wait 5 weeks, she may get to that fourth week and she may be like, you know what? I'm liking you a little more than what I thought. Let's cross that line. Maybe. So he says he was shocked because he didn't know that she had already decided, but he does agree with her. I think he wasn't wanting, I don't think he wanted her to say it out loud on video diary, but I don't know why. If you are in agreement with her, that may have made her believe like, hey, we on the same page. We're not going to do this until the end. So I don't know why he was so upset about the video diary, or did you not want her to jump the gun? Are you about presentation and you wanted that conversation to be presented properly after y'all have already talked about it and for sure are on the same page? I didn't understand that. So, anywho, they get in this back and forth about him being slick at the mouth and cutting her off. Right? I'm sorry, being slick at the mouth and her cutting him off when he's trying to talk. So he tells her, well, tell me back to me what you hear me saying. I don't think anything was wrong with that. I don't think anything was wrong with that. That's something a damn therapist gonna ask you too. And maybe that's her problem because she often feel like she in a damn therapist couch or something with him. I don't know. But she didn't like it. And it's like, no, I would like to know what you hear. When I tell you this, what do you hear? Okay, I understand now. I understand why what I said came off to you the way that it did. Let me explain to you what I was saying. Right? I feel like there was nothing wrong with him asking her that. In addition, in this moment with them going back and forth, I realized she, of course, likes to be in charge, right? And some of the very critique that she has for him, she does that same shit. Very interesting. And when I think about her being in charge, it takes me back to their sleeping pattern. She likes to sleep closer to the door, whereas his ass is over there. Whatever. But yeah, she liked to be in charge. But also, which is interesting too, because as much as he likes a woman that's in charge, it seems like he doesn't at the same time. So what areas do you like her to be in charge with? Okay. Now, yes, he should be more mindful with his words, but I'm not going to say that she shouldn't be more mindful with her shit either. With her words, Miss, I saw this gorgeous family. Oh, no, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Tell him so many other ways of how you're not interested. Okay. And then as y'all progress on, and and the roles could very well reverse where your ass gonna be more interested in him because of who he is and how he shows up. Meanwhile, he about gonna be thinking in his damn head, you don't really like me like that, based on the shit that you've said. So I just feel like they both are the problem to me. Okay. Um, I feel like Nikki operates also on a lot of what she wants. A lot of it is like y'all both in this relationship, y'all both are gonna have wants, y'all. And I'm not talking like sexually. Y'all both are gonna want a person to talk to you a certain way, to be handled a certain way. Like it doesn't just apply to you solely in a relationship. So sorry. So she tells him that he has a soft and tender side, and that helps her put her guard down. And then she says he felt like she didn't have a right to make a decision without him. That's how he made her feel. Okay. And so he says that's not true. He told her that she's guessing how he felt, and that's not correct. Right. I feel like he not fully lying that she is guessing how he felt, but I don't feel like she's wrong for thinking that too. Like she couldn't make a decision without him, because it sounds like as he goes on to have that conversation with the guys, it's like you do want those decisions to be made together. So when you say that's not true, it seems like it was true. Because you want y'all to have a conversation together, and then you want to be able to present things on a united front, because Sean is about presentation. It's something about that. All right. Maybe somebody else can break it down better in the comments. Okay. So she says, well, that's how you came off to me. All right. So she says, you don't need to prove anything to me. You need to hear me. And you act like you're in a courtroom or a lecture. Okay. And Nikki, sometimes you act like you somebody fucking mama. Oh, okay. So she says he doesn't create enough space for the other person to be heard and understood. Actually, you do that too. You don't create enough space either, because at times when he's leading a conversation and he's talking, you jump in and you cut him off. So y'all slick do the same shit, and I'm seeing why they partner both of y'all up with each other, so y'all can see how y'all show up. Because you don't often see how you show up yourself when you're in it, but when you see something, it's easier to call it out on somebody else, but you actually do the same shit. So he says it wasn't about having sex, it was about the process of how we will communicate. Now, I will. He got to give a gab, baby, because I like them words. Okay, the way he broke it down, he says they have a different communication style, and it takes time to get in alignment, and he wants to figure that out. Well, you're figuring out that there are certain ways that you bring about questioning that you can't. Now, the one thing I didn't like that he said was, that's not what I asked you, and the question was whatever that was. I didn't like that. But him asking her, tell me back to me what you hear, what you think I'm saying, or what do you hear when I say that? I think that's a very fair question. I think that's a very fair question. So then he tells her he isn't anti her. Like, I'm here to support you. You know, I'm here to love you. Okay, how you need to be. I'm not anti you. I'm not against you or anything. I'm just trying to figure things out. Okay. So she says, okay. I think she said, I love that, or I appreciate that, or whatever. All right. So yeah, y'all just gotta, he not wrong. Y'all gotta work on y'all communication styles. Y'all definitely got to work on that. She's communicating how she don't like to feel like she's being lectured to, this, that, and the other. But sometimes I reduce that to you feeling like you don't like being told what the fuck to do. When somebody checking you on your shit. That's what it seemed like. But let's keep going. I feel like he takes her criticism to me more well than she takes it from him. Okay, y'all leave y'all thoughts on that, child. Argue in the comments saying Caitlyn and Devin. So she goes to the gym and leaves him behind, and he didn't like it because he thought they were gonna go together. And if she wanted to go by herself, then she should have said that. Maybe she didn't want your mother. It's with her. Like, matter of fact, maybe she didn't want to wake you up. Let's start there. Maybe she didn't want to wake you up. And he not fully wrong, as far as if she wanted to go by herself and say, I just need my alone time, she could have said that. Yeah, she could have. Right? Or you could have got your motherfucking ass up. Because if she got up at 8, you got up 30 minutes later, most husbands gonna get their ass up and they're gonna go where their wife's at. So if she's in the gym, go to the gym then. If she would have kicked your ass out the gym, then feel a way about it. If she would have walked out the gym when you came in the gym, maybe feel a way about it. He probably would have told you, hey, I ain't want to wake you up. You know she about wanted that time to herself. Especially in the mornings. It's something about the morning time, having the time to your damn self before the world really wakes up. Just something about it. So Devin, he definitely pissed me off though, talking about he wanted to feel wanted and reciprocate. Boy, you don't shut the fuck. Don't piss me off. Was she not with you all day the other day? You get left behind for a little piece and you over here acting depressed. Don't piss me off. So they get over here with the other couples and they're talking, and Courtney talks about Felipe and says that she wants to talk to him 24/7. And she's missing that in her marriage. Child, I hope you want to talk to him as just friends, huh? You know that Felipe got that cheetah energy in him. I don't know. But she was excited about the conversation. Okay. Anywho, the men separate, women separate. They do their roundups, talking about what's been going on, the highs, the lows, whatever's they've been dealing with, right? Afterwards, Courtney chats with Caitlyn, talking shit about Nick, and that's my issue with her. She'll talk to everybody else, but I'm not seeing or hearing her have them conversations with Nick though. Nick needs to know how terrible he is, girl. Don't be having me over here feeling bad for Nick because I high key don't feel bad for his ass at all. Okay? And I want to know, like, what you thinking in your head? Like, what, like, do you not want to cross certain boundaries with her? And even if you did not want to cross sexual boundaries and you want to respect her boundaries, the conversation ain't even there. Like, y'all not even talking. Like, you ain't got nothing. Child, I can't. But this video has went on longer than what I expected it to go. So we're going to wrap it up right there. All right. I want you guys to hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about the episode 4. Let me see y'all like up this video. Okay. Y'all been doing pretty good in the last few Married at First Sight. Okay. Can we get like 1,000 likes up in this time, baby? Or close to it? Girl, let's set the bar high. All right. Let's see if we can get about 1,000 likes. Share the video, like up the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye.